In closing, the Treasurer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, I thank all the speakers today who have participated in this debate, and I'll hopefully clear up some issues that were raised in the various contributions by some of the members. And I'd like to welcome the opposition's support of this scheme and agree that these are crucial measures to boost home ownership in the Northern Territory, which currently sadly has some of the lowest rates of home ownership in the country. And just for the opposition leader, there are no caps on the amount of grants awarded. The scheme is open for 12 months. So there are actually no caps on the grant. So people can get in before the end of the scheme on 31 September next year, and all those applications will be considered. And there are also no limits on where people must live. So that means that Territorians everywhere, whether it be Jabiru or Palmerston, have the opportunity to apply for this grant. And I'm really pleased to say, Madam Speaker, I've actually been working with some people who live on homelands who have always struggled to become first home buyers, and they actually have leases on their homelands, and as long as they have the sufficient length on their lease, they're able to apply for this grant. So we're seeing some people on homelands now who, for the first time, could become their own homeowners under this grant, and I believe there are some applications in at the moment, which is absolutely wonderful to see. And just in response to the Leader of the Opposition about existing property owners will be competing with first homeowners that make it harder for first homeowners. Well, that's only existing property owners are only eligible for the Fresh Start grant and are not subject to this piece of legislation. And in addition, Madam Speaker, the Fresh Start grant is only available for the construction or purchase of new properties. Existing property owners will not be eligible for any grants on existing properties. And there has been some discussion around eligibility and compliance to make sure that money is not going to interstaters. And Madam Speaker, I can say that the Territory Revenue Office will implement an audit and compliance program, including random audits, as well as targeted audits and compliance activities. There is a requirement for all grant recipients to live in the dwellings for a minimum of 12 months. This represents an increase of the previous 6 month requirement. There are a range of powers available to the Territory Revenue Office under the Taxation Administration Act of 2007, and non-compliance can result in repayment of grants along with further penalties and interest. Just switching across, because the members for Nightcliff and the members for Johnson both had similar concerns around bits and pieces of the grant. So I'll try and address those issues that they've raised about grants going to property developers, banks and existing property owners. Well, grant recipients must own their property in their own name and must occupy the property for 12 months. As such, there is no scope for a developer or others to obtain multiple grants. And there was discussion that first homeowner grants in this scheme will increase prices and make it harder for first home buyers, Madam Speaker. But that might be so in a hot market, and I believe that has happened previously with first homeowner grants nationally. But unfortunately, we don't have a hot property market in the Northern Territory. In fact, sadly, we have a depressed property market, which is why we've introduced this grant scheme to try and increase construction and additional homes within the Territory. And the other issues that were raised were around social and affordable housing, which is, I know, also important and certainly important for this government. And we're currently working actively with the federal government and committed to building the better remote housing to provide that all-important housing for people out in the bush, but there's also federal funding for affordable housing within our urban and regional areas. And we're working closely with the federal government to bring some of that money on board to improve and increase the ability to deliver on that social housing right across the Northern Territory. So I hope that answers a few of the questions that were raised during debate today. And I'd also like to take the opportunity, Madam Speaker, to thank all the people that took the opportunity to get a briefing on this grant. I know it was made available to all members of the chamber, and I believe the opposition, independent members, had the opportunity and took that opportunity to receive a briefing on this bill, which was great to see. But, Madam Speaker, the bill introduces legislation to give effect to the Homegrown Territory Grant, which was announced by our government earlier this year as part of the wider Homegrown Territory program, and it officially commenced on the 1st of October 2024. It recognises that increasing access to the housing market improves the chances of residents remaining in the Territory. The grant also demonstrates the government's commitment supporting first home buyers in the Territory, encouraging population growth through home ownership, boosting local employment by invigorating the residential construction sector, and increasing much-needed housing supply. The bill does this by increasing the first home owners grant from $10,000 to $50,000 for buying or building new homes, and expands it to include $10,000 for buying established homes. It is available for those contracts signed between 1 October 2024 and 30 September 2025. The bill also increases the eligibility criteria of the first home owner grant to ensure that it will go to buyers who are purchasing or building a home to live in rather than those buying a property for other reasons, such as investment. With these grants, home buyers will need to live in a home that they buy for at least 12 months, and that includes homes that they build, and giving them time to put down roots in the Territory and become part of their local community. While the bill makes clear that the grant will run for a year, already we have seen a quick uptake with 19 homegrown Territory grant applications having been made by first-time buyers. In addition, 12 applications lodged for the Fresh Start New Home Grant. And I have some up-to-date numbers, Madam Speaker. So as at 25/11, 165 grants have been received, 81 for new builds and purchases, and 84 for established homes. Madam Speaker, I would like to thank all those involved in delivering the Territory Homegrown program and encourage everyone to come and make your home in the Northern Territory. I would like to thank my team from Treasury for all the work done on this program. And Madam Speaker, I now move that the bill be read a third time.